Hi, I'm Rachel with RMD Crystals, and today I have a piece of selenite I am packing up that is headed out for an order, but I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about gypsum. I have rounded up as many examples as I can from gypsum I have around my house and in my shop. So let's talk about what gypsum is and what selenite is and compare that with satin spar. Now, it is quite common to see pieces like this or those like skyscrapers that are satin spar called selenite. And it's not 100% an accurate representation of what selenite is. Now, something like this is a cut and tumbled piece of this. So this would be a giant piece of satin spar. This is completely natural. I chopped off a chunk off of the bottom. I was attempting to make like some little stands and stuff out of this, but didn't quite work out. But anyways, satin spar grows in really super tiny little like needles. I was trying to get it so I could show all the little tiny fibers, and I just had a piece come off. So this is a couple little individual crystals that are kind of still attached to each other. Well, there you can sort of see on the end. Hold on. There we go. So you can see super teeny tiny little strands essentially of crystals, and they all grow together to form that big giant mass, which if you really look at something like this, you can see that growth pattern in there. And then obviously this is like cut out and polished. I do sell these little dishes in the shop, but even though this is commonly referred to as selenite, it is actually satin spar. Selenite is going to form in layers like this, which these pieces that I have, these come from Utah. When it is formed like this, it is called a book, and you can get really thick pieces. And one of the things I like about these is that you can kind of see where it had come out of the ground. It's kind of like a clay sort of mixture that these are forming in. I've got a screen grab from Rock Hunter Mark. This is actually a dig at Glitter Mountain in Arizona, but they come out of the ground. You find them in big giant piles essentially, and then you have to chisel it apart and you get these books like this piece here. Now, gypsum can be very, very clear. This here, now this is out of my own personal collection, and this is not a natural formation. I want to make that clear up front. This is cemented to be this like art piece, which is still really super cool, but it does not grow this way. It is not natural. If you see anybody selling these like this as natural formations, they are not natural. They might be made from natural material, but they are definitely like cemented and glued together. But this piece of gypsum here, it is thinner. So you can see it's like a very thin piece of gypsum and of selenite, and is very super clear, really, really super clear, and makes for an absolutely gorgeous display piece standing up like that. Now, desert roses is another formation of gypsum, and these will form little blades, and they kind of like cement themselves together. This is kind of what they look like when they're pulled out of the ground. There's a lot of dirt and sediment in there. This one I've worked on a bit, cleaned it up a little bit, so that way the blades were a little bit more visible. But this is likely from the United States. I don't have an exact locale. This is something I just got in a mixed mystery box, kind of a flat. I do have some really good examples though of that from Canada, and let's just There we go, focus. These are from the Red River Floodway in Canada. And again, kind of like the desert rose, you can get it forming in blades that are attached to each other. And then you can also find gypsum in, this would be kind of like a petal or a floater, but individual pieces like this. One of my absolute favorite things is that some gypsum is UV reactive. These pieces are actually phosphorescent as well, so they would glow if it was dark enough in here, but it's way too bright. But one of the reasons I am absolutely fascinated with gypsum is because it is, or it can be, UV reactive. There's a few people I follow that do a lot of rock hounding, and some of them you can actually find something kind of similar to this. This has a little bit more of a golden hue to it, but you can find the clearer versions of this rock hounding in the United States, which is on my bucket list. I definitely, at some point, I'm going to plan a trip to go somewhere and do some selenite gypsum hunting. Anyways, if you are interested in adding some satin spar or some selenite to your collection, I do have some pieces available on rmdcrystals.com. If you already have some in your collection, I would love to know where your favorite piece is from. Mine would definitely be from Canada. These come from RMF Crystals, and I'm obsessed with these. I will say I did have to keep a piece of my own selenite, though. It was a smaller one. This is the piece that I ended up having to keep from that flat because I absolutely love this stuff too. I love that you can see all the growth in there, the laminations. So if you need a piece of this, definitely check out my website. I hope this has been informative, and I appreciate you watching. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, wherever that you are seeing this at, and I will see you on the next video.